श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज, निज मनु मुकुर सुधारी। बरनउँ रघुबर बिमल जसु, जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेश विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराज सुभेशा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजे, कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि संभाय। सहस बदन तुमरो जस गावे, अस कहीं श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम दिखपाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सके कहते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपत दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मैली मुख माहि, जलधि लांगी गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसा। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारे शरणा, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे, तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग सब हिरे सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा, है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता, असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हरे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हरे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाय, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय। और देवता चित्त न धरहि, हनुमत से ही सर्व सुख करहि। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करो गुरुदेव की दाई। जो सत बार पाठ करे कोई, छूटहि बद्धि महा सुख होय। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साकी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय बह डेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूरति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसो सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। राधे कृष्ण की ज्योति अलौकिक, तीनों लोकों में छाए रही है। राधे कृष्ण की ज्योति अलौकिक, तीनों लोकों में छाए रही है। भक्ति विवश एक प्रेम पुजारिन, फिर भी दीप जलाए रही है। भक्ति विवश एक प्रेम पुजारिन, फिर भी दीप जलाए रही है। कृष्ण को गोकुल से राधे को, कृष्ण को गोकुल से राधे को, बरसाने से बुलाए रही है। दोनों करो स्वीकार, कृपा कर जोगन आरती गाए रही है। दोनों करो स्वीकार, कृपा कर जोगन आरती गाए रही है। भोर भये ते साँझ ढले तक, भोर भये ते साँझ ढले तक, सेवा को नित नेम हमारा। स्नान कराए वो वस्त्र ओढ़ाए, वो भोग लगाए वो लागत प्यारा। स्नान कराए वो वस्त्र ओढ़ाए, वो भोग लगाए वो लागत प्यारा। कब तेरी हारत आपकी ओर, कब तेरी हारत आपकी ओर, की आप हमारी और निहारो। राधे कृष्ण हमारे धाम को, जानी वृंदावन धाम पधारो। राधे कृष्ण हमारे धाम को, जानी वृंदावन धाम पधारो। राधे कृष्ण हमारे धाम को, जानी वृंदावन धाम पधारो। Let's first chant the beautiful Vibhishan Gita. See, there are certain things like Vibhishan Gita which should be internalized. They should be learned by heart. Whenever we are in a situation where we are debating as to what should be done, what should not be done, what is the right course of action, am I equipped enough? This Vibhishan Gita should internally play in our hearts and in our minds. And when we actually reflect on the Vibhishan Gita in any situation, it will give us inner strength, resilience, acceptance, and the courage to move on. So let's chant the Vibhishan Gita and then we'll go on with it. रावनु रथि बिरथ रघुबीरा, देखहि विभीषण भयहु अधीरा। अधिक प्रीति मन भासंदेहा, बंधी चरण कह सहित सनेहा। नाथ नरथ नहीं तन पद त्राण, केहि पीति जीतब बीर बलवाना। सुनहु सका कह कृपा निधाना, जहि जय होई सो स्यंदन आना। सौरज धीरज तेहि रत चाका, सत्य सत्यशील दृढ़ ध्वजा पताका बल विवेक दम परहित घोरे क्षमा कृपा सम तारज जोड़े ईश भजनु सारथी सुजाना बिरति चरम संतोष कृपाना दान परसु बुद्धि शक्ति प्रचंड बर ज्ञान कठिन कौदंडा अमल अचल मन द्रोण समाना संयम नियम सीली मुख नाना कवच अभेद विप्र गुरु पूजा एहि सम विजय उपाय न दूजा सखा धर्ममय असरथ जाके जीत न कह न कतहु रिपुता के महा अजय संसार रिपु जीति सकै सो वीर जाके असरथ होय दृढ़ सुनहु सखा मति धीर। जब ऐसा रथ किसी के पास है तो वो क्या नहीं जीत सकता। And what is this धर्म रथ about? धर्म रथ is about having been victorious over the self first. We want to conquer the world, right? We want to conquer the world, we want to win external battles, we want to do so much. But have we been able to conquer ourselves? Have we been able to conquer over, have we been able to, be victorious over Kam, Krodh, Moh, Lobh, Ahankar, Mad, Matsarya? Have we been able to conquer all these? Have we been able to have control over our indriyas? Panch karm indriya, panch gyan indriya. Are we able to have full control over our thoughts? Are we in control of our words and deeds? Are we in control of our thoughts? And are we able to nurture the divine love in our heart? We have to ask these questions to ourselves. What is the point of winning the world if you have not been able to win over the self? It's easier to conquer the world, but it is not that easy to conquer the self. And trust me, now that we have the opportunity, nature has made us distance ourselves from the external. Don't be in a haste to look for venues to venture out. Look for various reasons to venture within, to go within. See, there is a big difference, as we had said the beautiful write-up. There is a big difference between akelapan and ekant. And the choice is yours. Do you choose to be akela, or do you choose to be in ekant? Do you choose to be lonely, or do you choose to be in the company of the self? If you are lonely, if you are akela, you are sorrowful. It is an agony, it is a punishment. Our mind does not think straight. It is forced, it is imposed. Whereas ekant is blissful, it is serene, it is calm, it is joyous, it is by choice, it is a cause of all clarity that comes from within. There were two friends. Okay. There were two friends. And friends, we normally have bets with each other, right? Shart lagate hain, chalo. So the two friends had a bet with each other. And this friend said, if for a month, right, I will lock you in a house, you will have no connection with the outside world, no television, no gadgets, no WhatsApp, no Facebook, no internet, no telephones, nothing. You'll have all that you need in this house, but you will be totally cut off from the outside world. And if you manage, right, to go through that 1 month and you don't break the rules of the lockdown, right, as per his friends, you don't step out of that door, you don't call anybody, you don't shout out, you don't open the windows, I will give you a humongous sum of money. Now this friend thought that it's easy, isn't it? I have everything I want in the house, all that I need to eat, drink, and I can sleep all day long. What's so difficult about being alone for a month? Right? Totally alone, mind you. So he said, okay, I accept. So this friend A locked the friend B in the house and he went away. And days started going by. Initially it was good, right? It is, you don't have to do much, you enjoy your life, you eat, you drink, you sleep. But slowly it started getting to him. Slowly he started feeling so agitated. Slowly he started yearning for company. Slowly he started becoming so lonely. He would cry, he would weep, he would shout. He just wanted to get out. But he needed the humongous sum of money also. See, he kept himself. And that agitation kept growing and growing and growing and growing till it reached a saturation point. And then suddenly, when he was just sitting, instead of directing his vision and his thoughts and all his senses outside, he started introspecting. He started taking his senses within. He started praying. He started thinking about the Lord. He started thinking about why have I come into existence? Who am I? What is my purpose? Where have I come from? Where will I go? And he started delving deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper within. And gradually the transition happened. From that akela, lonely, agitated person, he shifted towards being delighted in the company of the self, totally immersed in the divine bliss, no more sorrowful. He was enjoying the ekant, the company of the divine and the company of the self. And then days started going by. He became calm, he became quiet, he became blissful. He felt as though he was connecting with forces beyond his wildest imaginations. He could see realms, he could see the beauty, he could see the play of life. And on the 29th day, he took the keys, opened the door, and just walked away. Now this friend on the other side started getting worried. He said, days are going by. He has been in this house for almost 29 days now, and tomorrow is the last day, and I don't have that kind of money which I have promised. Plus, how come he is so quiet? He has not left, he has not rung the bell which I had put to call me. if he wanted to go out? What is wrong? So worry of his friend and worry of the amount that he had to give, he ran through the house where his friend was living, and what did he see? He saw that the door had been opened. And when he walked in, there was nobody there, just a day before. And when he looked around, he saw a beautiful note kept on the table. And the note read that no money in the world can ever substitute the peace, the anand, the bliss that I have experienced. To be honest, my dear friend, you have given me so much. I am indebted to you for the rest of my life. You've made me realize that nothing matters. You've made me realize that what actually matters is beyond the material clutches. And I thank you for introducing me to the path of divine bliss, never to turn back. I walk on. The choice is ours. Do we want to be the victim of the situation and cry foul? Or do we want to actually look at the hidden beauty that the situation is offering us? No matter what the situation, we always and always and always have a choice. And as in the book Shantaram it is written, that choice is going to write the story of your life. Everybody had a choice. Krishna had a choice. Sri Ram had a choice. Our beautiful Hanuman had a choice. And what they chose made them eternal. What they chose made them memorable. What they chose made them the role models for all of us. Our scriptures are full of people like you and me, who made choices which were a little different, which were probably not heard of, not followed by the masses. But those choices made them who they were. Many a times, people end up giving up everything for something they can't even see. But then, that's a choice. Ask yourself, what do you choose? Are you able to choose? Are you able to make a decision? Are you able to decide? Or are you just being pushed around by everything that is happening? आज इधर चले गए, कल उधर चले गए, आज खुश है तो कल हम बहुत उदास हैं. Today we are jumping with joy and tomorrow we are depressed. What? The external situations are governing you and your mood? Why? Why should anybody or anything have the power to rule over you? And Sri Ram over here, when he's telling look, Ravan is well equipped. And Vibhishan, out of love, you're telling me that I am not. But what truly is needed is something very different. Human birth is meant for something very different. It is not meant for those material conquests. It is not meant for all the wealth in the world. It is not meant to please everybody. It is meant to move towards the divine. This human birth is very rare. And some people like Sri Ram, some people like Sri Krishna, some people like Sri Hanuman, some people like the great sages who are very rare are able to make the full use of this human birth, but just human body is an instrument which can help you cross the ocean of mundane existence. So when Ramji is standing there, he tells Vibhishan, Are Vibhishan, what actually people need to work towards is not what they are running towards. See, you might be running in a rat race and you might come first, but as they say, you are still a rat no matter where you stand. So he said, what do I have? I have Sauraj, Dheeraj, and Satya and Sheel. Courage, fortitude, honesty, and good character, Sheel character. Then he goes on to say, Bal Bibek, strength of all sorts, all type of external, internal, but the most important strength that I possess is the strength of my character, the strength of the Lord, and Vivek. Vivek is discrimination. The discrimination, not to discriminate between caste, creed, color, race, countries, religion. Nahi, those are all futile. They are all temporary. The true discrimination is when you are able to differentiate what is real and what is not real, what is transient and what is permanent, what is worth walking towards and what is actually worth just dropping and leaving. So he says, I have that discrimination. देखिए, जिंदगी आपको और मेरे को उतनी ही मिली है, राइट? 5-6 साल इधर उधर. Time is limited. Use your Vivek. Use it in the right direction. And Samay does not wait for anybody, right? Vibhishan Gita is a part of Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. It is a part of Ramayana, Tulsi Ramayana, but currently we are doing it under the umbrella of Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, where we are talking about Ramji. Okay? And Ramji is one of the Ish, one of the avatar of the Lord. And all through Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, 2 questions are being answered. What are those? How should I die? And if I want to die like that, how should I live? Parikshit is asking Shukdev Ji these 2 simple questions. How should I die? And if I want to die like that, how should I live? This is the summary of the entire Bhagavad. Use your discrimination. Every time you do something, think about these 2 questions. Am I working towards my death? Everybody is going to die one day, right? Some sooner, some later. That is one truth that nobody can change. The day we came on this earth, the day we took our first breath, the time for our depart was already destined, and every single day we are doing nothing else but moving towards our death. So when that is the truth, everybody has to die one day. Am I living a life so that I make that truth fruitful? Or I'm going to get caught unaware by death? Ask yourself these questions. Introspect, manthan karo. अकेलेपन से मत जूझो, इस एकांत का फायदा उठाओ. And then Ramji goes on. Let's go on. He says, Bal Vivek Dam Parahit Ghode. So we did Bal and Vivek. Now we have to do Dam and Parahit. What is Dam? Simply put, what is Dam? क्या है दम? Dam is self-control, isn't it? Just now we talked about controlling our indriyas, pushing them inwards, letting the outside world go away, vanish for a while. But do we have that control? Do we have self-control? Are we able to control our senses? It's a very, very important question. Are we able to control our senses? Are we able to see what we want to see? Are we able to hear what we want to hear? Are we able to speak only what is needed? Are our legs able to take us where liberation is? And are our hands able to do service for others? Or there are times when, the bed we just say, okay, aaj jaane do, today it's okay, we'll do whatever we want to do. Thumb, self-control. See, everybody lives. Animals also live, we also live. But sometimes I feel that animals have more self-control than we have. They don't take or eat more than what is needed. And look at us. There is no end to our desires and greed. No end to sense gratification. Control का है. ये भी चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए. I want this also, I want that also. There is never ending thought of I want. Never ending thing. That greed can never be satisfied. And we feel that if I have this, my desires will be fulfilled, right? My senses would be satisfied. If I have that, my senses would be satisfied. Then I would not want anymore. But it is like putting oil on the flame. It will grow bigger, grow more stronger. So what should you do? You should suppress? No. Nobody is asking you to suppress your desires. Nobody is asking you to control your senses by force. But practice. Work towards it. Use discrimination. Use your inner strength. Talk to yourself. If you want to, if you have around 30 minutes to spare, decide where that 30 minutes should go. Would you just while those 30 minutes away, or you would like to put them in productive use? See, even this definition of what is productive and what is not is a very personal thing. So I would not tell you what is right or what is wrong. Kindly make your own decision. Use your vivek. Everybody has vivek. God has given every human vivek. It is our choice whether we use it or not, right? So, self-control. Have you seen a horse? When the horse is walking, he has hoods. Hoods, why? So that he does not sway. He does not look here and there. He walks straight. Are we able to put hoods on our senses? Or we do not want to put on hoods or any leash on our senses. We just want them to go haywire and we want to follow our senses. Whatever our senses say, we will do. No. That is definitely not the way forward. This beautiful story, until you are able to, or we are able to put our senses in control, we are able to implement them, we will not have impact over anybody else. Why is it that the words of the sages touch our heart, but the same thing being said by somebody else does not make too much of a difference? Why? Because the sages live their words. because the sages implement it in their life first before opening their mouth. There was the sage, a very, very common story. There was the sage who was actually sitting, and a mother had come from a long distance because she knew that her son needed help from the sage. So the sage was sitting there, and this mother came and she said, please, please, please help me. You have to help my son. You have to tell him that eating brinjal, eggplant or bangan is not good for him. It can kill him. But he's not listening. I have tried everything, but he's not listening at all. What do I do? The sage said, okay. He listened carefully. He said, please come after a month. When you come after a month, I'll give you the solution to your problem. So the mother went away. And it was a very tedious journey. It says that, they had to cross oceans and they have to climb a lot of mountains, and it was a very, very tedious walk before they reached the sage. It took them months and end to reach. So the sage said come after a month, but this mother went back and she came after a couple of months. And again she took that tedious journey and she reached and she went to the sage and he said, Sage, please guide my son. And the sage looked at the child and he said, my dear child, stop eating brinjal. Stop eating that eggplant. Stop eating bangan. It is not good for you. Now this mother got so angry. She started shouting actually, she was showering foul words on the sage. He said, how dare you? If this is all that you had to tell my son, you could have told him the last time I came. Do you know how difficult it is to come all the way to you? The sage understood. He said, I'm sorry, Mataji, but the problem is, when last time you came, I myself was eating brinjal. That is my favorite dish. Now till I stopped eating, how could I tell this child not to eat? It would have had no impact. So the day you came, immediately after that I stopped eating brinjal, and now I have full control. My senses don't run towards the brinjal. My tongue does not water. My mouth does not water. I am totally over the brinjal fascination. I am not a servant to that food anymore. And hence, I am able to tell your child, and trust me, your child will stop eating brinjal. And that is what happened. दम, बहुत ताकत है. Sense gratification makes you weak. But the control of the senses makes you strong. It is very easy to say, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that, but do you actually believe it? There was Sukdevji, right? Shukdevji. And his father is Vedvyasji, right? Shrimad Bhagwat ke author kaun hai? Vedvyasji. And Shukdevji is his son, who is narrating the Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. Just imagine, the author of Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran, Vedvyasji, did not have the courage to take the asan when Prarakshit was seeking knowledge. He was going around telling all the greatest of sages, be it Vashisht or be it Agastya Muni or be it Vedvyas himself, the Sanat Kumars, please, please, please give me the knowledge of Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. Not one person took the asan. And there from nowhere Shukdevji came uninvited and sat down and started telling the Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. ऐसा क्या था शुकदेव जी में जो वेदव्यास जी में नहीं था? Who is the author of the Granth? Shukdev ji told Vedvyas ji that this is it. I don't want to live in the household anymore. I want to be a wandering monk and I am leaving. Now Vedvyas ji's only son, and he suddenly gets up and walks away. Vedvyas ji was broken and battered. So he started running after Shukdev ji and crying out, Are bhai, ruko, ruko, bach jao. He started asking the plants, have you seen my son? He started asking the ocean, have you seen my son? And this Shukdevji was not listening. He started walking and walking and walking and walking alone. And when he was crossing, was crossing a river where a lot of girls were taking bath. Now they were taking bath, and when Shukdevji crossed, none of them got agitated. They continued with their bath. But the minute they saw Vibhishan coming, they all ran into the water and hid themselves. Now Vibhishan was shocked. He said, "What kind of women are you?" Now these women said, "Why are you asking this question? Swamiji, please go. We need to come out now. The water is cold. We cannot stay here much longer to hide ourselves." Vibhishan said, "My son, Shukra, just crossed. At that time you were not ashamed. At that time you continued doing what you were doing on land. And suddenly, when I, an old man, who is old enough to be your grandfather, is crossing, you suddenly realize that there are no clothes on? How come?" And he was fuming, because as it is, he was upset that his son had gone. He was looking for his son. And this kind of a behavior from this women, he could not comprehend. And so just imagine, what did these girls say? He said, when your son passed by, he is so established in the fact that he is nothing but Brahman. He is such an Anand Swarup that he himself is not associated with his own body. He does not consider himself a man or a woman. He considers himself as energy and the divine, and he sees all of us as nothing but the energy and divine. He does not even look at us as being the body of a woman or a man. He is beyond all this. Hence, when he was passing, we did not feel uncomfortable, because we know that one divine is looking at the other divine. One energy is looking at the other energy. There is nothing else that he sees. But Vibhishan, you still have that Dehabhan. You still know that you are an old man, old enough to be a grandfather, and we are women who have nothing on. That is the difference between you and your son. That is why, when the time to narrate the Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran came, it was not Vibhishan who took the asana, it was Shukdevji who sat down to narrate. You have to remember, this kind of self-control, this kind of control over your senses is definitely not easy. But it is not impossible. What do we have to do? We have to work towards it bit by bit. One more story of a sage, okay? There was the sage. Two sages were walking. One was the old sage and one was the young sage. Now these sages were walking and they were brahmacharis, and as per their vow and all that, they were not supposed to even look at a woman. Okay, that was their pratha, that was their matki pratha. So they were walking, and when suddenly this younger sage heard loudly a girl shouting. Again, she was in the river, and she was shouting, she said, help me, I am drowning, I am drowning, I am drowning. And the sage, without thinking, dropped his bag and he ran into the river, jumped in, lifted this girl up and put her on the bank and covered her with his cloth and moved away. And now this old sage started thinking, what, brahmachari? He has become brushed. He is not pure anymore. Look at what he did. Just imagine, this is going on in the mind of that old sage. He went in, he jumped in, he lifted that girl who had nothing on. He carried her. Her arms were around his neck. And then he dropped her and he covered her. How could this sage, this young brahmachari, he broke all the rules. He carried her. This is how he carried her. How could he do such a sinful activity? And hours went by, okay? And this old sage kept thinking about what had happened at the river bank. And finally, after a couple of hours, when it was almost evening, he said, how could you do such a thing? You are my student. I feel like disowning you today. The younger sage said, what did I do? Guruji, what have I done? कुछ गलती हो गई क्या? I too was walking with you quietly. He said, what quietly? That time in the afternoon, you jumped into the river. You took that women. You lifted her and you put her on the bags. Sheh! How could you? I've been thinking about it all afternoon. Now this disciple touched the feet of his guru. And he said, Gurudev, I too left her there only. She was a soul who was drowning. She needed help. I picked her up and I left her at the bank. But my dear teacher, why are you still carrying her? The teacher realized, oh my goodness, he's right. Where was the control on my mind? That repeated thought, yes, I am still carrying her. He did not even realize. He just did what was to be done. It never occurred in his mind. And look at me, I have been carrying that girl in my mind for the past 6-7 hours. Oh my God, who is brushed? My disciple or me? Be very careful. The control of senses is not only external. So you might control yourself not to have a sweet. But this thought, recurring thought of not eating that sweet or thinking about that sweet might go on. So is that control? That is not control, that is suppression. Self-control can never be achieved through suppression. Self-control happens through sublimation. What is suppression? When you bounce the ball on the floor, it bounces up with vengeance, right? It goes higher. When you shake a Coke bottle, what happens? When you open the top, it sprays out. Is that good? Is that good? That way of controlling your indriyas good? No. So what is the right way? And we have repeated it many times because it is one of the most important concepts. If we end up suppressing, we will be in the false notion of self-control. But the day we realize that we are sublimating, or our senses will come in our control automatically without us knowing. So what is sublimating? Drop the bad. Don't look at the bad. Start focusing on the good. Don't water anger. मैं गुस्सा नहीं करूँगा. नहीं. Let gussa be the way it is, okay? Just focus on love. Tell yourself, I will love, I will love, I will love. See, your hands are holding on to something, right? If you're still holding on to it, will it go away? No. So what do you have to do? You have to release it and hold something else. So release the anger, leave it where it is. Don't look at it and turn towards love. I will love, I will love, I will love. Water the plant of love. The plant of anger will wilt away on its own. Patha bhi nahi chalega. So how do you control your senses? Kaam, krodh, moh, lobh, ahankar, bad, matsarya. How do you overcome them? Harinam. Yes, very simple. Harinam. Start focusing towards the Lord. With both your hands, hold the feet of the Lord. Hold the feet of your Guru and just focus on them. Tell them, Adham, Heen, मतलब तुच्छ हूँ मैं, पर आपके चरण में आ गया हूँ, अब आप संभालो. I'm holding your feet. I'm at your feet, my Lord. I'll not let go of your feet and your hands. hold the feet of the Lord or your Guru or the good, the negative, the vices, all of them will gradually drop. You won't even realize. That is sublimation. Think of the higher and the lower tendencies will automatically go. They will die a natural death. You won't have to kill them. And then when this happens, something very beautiful will happen. Because self-control, if done through effort, done through suppression, brings one more byproduct, and the byproduct is ego. मैंने तो अपने आप को कंट्रोल कर लिया, मैंने तो ये कर लिया, मेरे को तो गुस्सा आता नहीं है, मैंने अपना गुस्सा खत्म कर लिया. ठीक है? So even if your anger is not coming, what has taken place? What has taken its place? It's big fat ego. But suppose you had just started thinking about the Lord, thinking about the higher goals, thinking about the greater good, thinking about Hari Kirtan and Hari Smarnam, and suddenly without your knowing, anger, jealousy, hatred, delusion went away. What will you say? You will say, my God, I did not do anything and it went away. So it is not by effort. I have done nothing. I did not even know. It is Prabhu Kripa. So when Prabhu Kripa and He is doing it for you, ego will not be there. You'll be free. See, you can fight over everything. You can win over everything. But winning over ego is a very, very, very dangerous battle. मैंने किया और प्रभु कृपा से हो गया are two opposites. They are not interchangeable. Self-control. Beautiful. So Ramji over here says कि बल है, विवेक है, and दम भी है मेरे में. These are the three horses. What is the fourth horse? Parhit. Parhit. What is parhit? Parhit. So you will say parhit is when you take care of others. But suppose I am to ask you this question, what is your definition of others? Who is others? When somebody went and asked Ramana Maharishi, how do I behave or how do I treat other people? What did Ramana Maharishi say? There are no others. There are no others. किससे बांधू बैर जगत में कोई नहीं पराया, हर मानव में प्रतिबिंब लेकर उसी ब्रह्म की छाया. There are no others. So parhit is that hit on that divine, hit on the self. There is nothing else. So it is very simple. As in the Bible also they say, right? Do to others as you would have them do to yourself. Why? Because there are no others. Just sit down. When you think, again, we'll continue the argument of control of senses. Okay, now, when you think, you have done something for somebody else, right? Suppose you have fed somebody else or you have given things to somebody else. Knowingly or unknowingly, what will happen? You will gloat. ईगो आएगी. देखो मैंने तो इतनी चैरिटी की, मैंने तो इतने लोगों का भला कर दिया. I have done so much for so many people. And then expectations will creep in. What did they do for me in return? I did so much and none of them stood up to my expectations. So when you think that you are doing good for somebody else, take it? When you say doing good for others, caring for others, the byproducts are ego and expectations. But suppose you work with the philosophy that there are no others. सब मेरे ही है, सब मैं ही हूँ, सब प्रभु ही है. When everything is Prabhu, everything is from Prabhu, who is going to give and who is going to take? We cannot move on when we are talking about Parhit without taking into consideration Rahim ji. When he would give put his hands forward to give, his eyes would go down. In the minute his eyes would go down, people will think he is embarrassed. But he would say, देनहार कोई और है, देवत है दिन रैन, लोग ब्रह्मों पर करे तासो नीचे नैन. I am not the giver, nothing belongs to me. सब प्रभु का है, और मैं प्रभु को दे रहा हूँ. तेरा तुझको अर्पण क्या लागे मेरा? And when people think that I am the giver and they are the taker and they look up to me, I get so embarrassed because they think I'm giving something when I don't have anything. Think. So Parhit kya hai? Parhit is being good to the divine, and that divine shines through everybody. And we have to invest our lives in Parhit. We have to go beyond our means to do good. Don't we do it for ourselves? Don't we do it for our children? When we are doing so much for us, then what stops us from extending our hand to help others, because there are no others? So he's saying, Ramji over here says that is dunya mein there is nothing which is beyond me. Everybody is in me, everybody is mine. So I have lived my life serving that divine which I see in everybody. So that is one more horse of mine. So when I have such 4 horses, what is it? Bal, Vivek, Dam and Parhit, who are pulling my chariot, can I ever be defeated? Of course not. When the wheels of the chariot are Sauraj, Dheeraj, when the flag on the chariot talk about truth and shield, Dhairya, and when the horses which are pulling my chariot talk about strength, discrimination, self-control and caring for all, can I ever stray? Can I ever go wrong? Can I ever be defeated? Ask yourself this question. See, our scriptures are not alien, okay? They are not distant. They're as close as they can be to our life. They're teaching us the way to live. Itch this chariot in your heart, in your mind. And say, do I have inner strength? Do I have discrimination? Am I able to discriminate? Are my senses in my control? Or am I in the control of my senses? बहुत फर्क हो जाएगा ना? And am I established and ever serving Parhit? The service of the people is the service of the Lords of the Lord, and devotion to the people is devotion to the Supreme Self. But bhulo. See, there is nothing, we want to use. You can Use whatever you want, flowery languages, examples which don't look reachable. That does not solve the purpose, isn't it? It is very simple. Scriptures are simple. Scriptures are implementable. Scriptures are alive in our day-to-day life. हर कोई कर सकता है. When Ramji could, why can't I? When Sri Krishna could, why can't I? What is the difference between me and Ram, and what is the difference between Sri Krishna and me? Nothing. They realize they are the divine. I refuse to realize that I am the divine. They realize the greatness of that eternal which is sitting in them. We salute the people who show eternal, that the eternal is sitting in them, not knowing that the same eternal is sitting in us. वही तो फर्क है ना. So parhit. What is parhit? There are no others. So just like you serve yourself and you think about the good of yourself, you should think about the good of every other individual. Why? Because there are no others. And he says, so this is the Dhwaja Pataka, these are the wheels of my chariot, these are the 4 horses. And how have I tied those horses to my chariot? So these horses need to pull the chariot, right? So you need reins so that you can hold on. And those reins are very important. The rope, the rassi. So the rassi, he says, is Shama, Kripa, Samata, Raju Jode. So Shama, Kripa, Samata. These are the 3 ropes which are tying my chariot to these horses. And the first rope is Shama. Forgiveness. There are 2 types of forgiveness. Take it? Forgiving others and forgiving the self. Take it? And if I tell you that forgiving others is easier than forgiving the self, would you agree? We are able to forgive everybody else in this world, but we are unable to forgive the self. Self-forgiveness is the last thing that we do. And we crumble under the under the burden of guilt, under the burden of regret, under the burden of self-condemnation. We condemn the self. So 2 types of forgiveness. Forgiving the self is as important as forgiving the others. Until you forgive yourself, how will you forgive anybody else? Sit down. Think of things that make you feel horribly guilty. You wish you could have changed. You say, right, in retrospect, I wish I could go back and change this. I wish I could have go back and change that. I wish I had not said it. I wish. What is done is done. Let go. Tell yourself, I forgive you. I forgive myself. Whatever had to happen, happened the way the Lord wanted it. It was exactly the way my Lord wanted it. I did not do anything which my Lord did not want. What is done. I forgive myself. Forgive yourself. Heal yourself. We keep hurting ourselves. The wounds, we keep scratching our wounds. Why? जो हो गया सो हो गया. What's done is done. Whenever you feel right that you have made a mistake, tell yourself what's done is done. Remind yourself, this is a beautiful verse. Ho nahar bhavi prabal, vilakhi kahe muninath, hani labh jeevan maran, yash apyash vidhihat. Everything happens as per the divine will. Don't give yourself so much power and importance that you can do what you want. Are bhai, we are just the puppets in the hands of the Lord. We are the flute in His hand. The music is His, the actions are His. Who am I? Main hu na? That is why I'm guilty. I did it. Where is that I? You don't even have the power to move a single leaf. Kya? Forgive yourself. And only when you are able to forgive yourself will you be able to forgive anybody else. Step 1, forgive the self. Remember that everything that is happening, will happen, is as per the divine will. सब विधि के हिसाब से हो रहा है. Don't blame yourself. And others? Now that forgiveness also is of 3 types. 3 types of forgiveness. One is where we'll hold a big grudge against somebody. The first kind of forgiveness. And then we'll expect that person to come and apologize and give explanations and actually sob in front of us, and then we'll grudgingly say, okay, maaf kiya, jao. But next time be careful, I'll not forgive you. Just because you've apologized and you're saying so much, I forgive you. That is a 3rd grade forgiveness. Actually, it's 3rd grade. That kind of forgiveness is not counted as forgiveness also. What is the 2nd type of forgiveness? Yeah? To know that somebody has wronged you, but consciously forgiving and forgetting. आपको समझ आया कि this person has been mean, what he has said is not right. However, I choose not to take it forward. I choose to forgive and forget this individual's action immediately. I don't expect any apologies. I don't expect any explanations. I feel कि ठीक है, हो गया ना, हो गया. There are various ways of looking at it. You can say, okay, मेरा कर्म था. I deserved. I'm getting only what I deserve. Must be some karma of mine. पहले जमाने का कुछ लेखा जोखा था. There must be some balance, right? I am getting, maybe I had done something wrong to him, so he is doing this. Maybe in some birth I must have harmed him, so he is harming me. Maybe sometime knowingly or unknowingly I had hurt him, hence he is hurting me today. Hence, you forgive that person without that person seeking forgiveness. You are hurt, you feel bad, but you choose to forgive. You don't expect any explanations or apologies. You think that everything is just because you did something, that person must have done it. This love, this life, previous life, it could have happened. Right? That is also forgiveness. That is definitely not a 3rd grade forgiveness. That is better. But there is this one beautiful kind of forgiveness, which is the crown of a hero, which is the strength of a hero. Trust me, forgiveness is not for the weak. Forgiveness is not for the meek. Forgiveness does not make you a weakling. The ability to forgive is the biggest strength one can have. So he says, Ramji says, one of the rope which is holding my horses to my chariot is forgiveness. And which kind of forgiveness is Ramji talking about? He definitely does not blame or has any grudges towards himself. He does not believe in that 3rd grade forgiveness where people are going to repent and plead and apologize, then you forgive. He is not even established at the second grade kind of forgiveness, where people wrong you and then you notice and you think that you have been wrong and then you try to justify it to yourself, thinking it must be karma, it must be something, I decide not to judge him or whatever. You have a big dialogue that goes on in your head and you convince yourself that I forgive and forget in spite of the fact that he has wronged me. So you're great, right? He was wrong, yet you're forgiving. But the third kind of forgiveness, which Ramji is actually talking about here, Shama. Kshama. What is true Shama? True Shama is where you don't even realize that you have been wronged. You're so at ease. You're so much established in just being. You're so much established in the Leela of this Lord. See, when you realize that there is no others, when you realize that everything is but the Lord, when you realize that it is Lord's play, everybody is acting and doing things as per His direction. Where is the need of getting hurt, and where is the need of forgiving, or where is that feeling of being wronged? Kuch bhi nahi hai na, because everything is happening as per my Lord's will. So when everything is as per my Lord's will, there is nothing wrong, there is nothing to be hurt about, there is nothing to be angry about, there is nothing to judge, there is nothing to even think about. That is that ultimate forgiveness, where you don't even realize that something negative has been done towards you, because in your mind there is nothing wrong. Let me try and explain this concept with the help of an example, a story. Stories are the best way, right? So there was this sage who was doing his prayers. He was in the Ganga and he was doing his Surya prayers in the morning, and he just finished his prayers in the Ganga. He offered all the jal to Surajji, and he was coming out, and when suddenly there was a boy, a young man, let me say, sitting there, and what did he do? He spat on the sage. The sage turned back, went into the Ganga, did the entire prayer ritual again. He offered jal to Suraj and Surya Dev, and he came out again. The minute he came out and he was about to wear his slippers or paduka, this boy spat again. This young man spat again. He spit. Then again the sage just went back. He did his Surya Vandana. Again he offered jal. Again he did the entire bath. He came back. And again he spat. And again the sage went in. He again did the entire cycle of prayers and offered water, Ganga Jal to Surya Dev, and he came out. And again this man spat. And this went on. Can you believe it? It went on for 100 times. 100 times this man spat, and 100 times the sage, without saying anything, went back and offered water to Surya Dev, did his entire prayer ritual, and he came out. And this time, when the 100th time this happened, this boy fell flat at the feet of the sadhu. And he said, "My goodness, I spat at you 100 times. Not only did you not say anything, you did not even show any sign of anger on your face. You did not show any sign of dismay, or you did not show any sign of something unusual or hideous which was happening. You were just as calm as could be, as if whatever was happening was natural. My sage, tell me, what is the secret? How could you be so composed, so accepting, when I was being so horrible?" The sage picked this man up, and he said, "But you did not do anything wrong." Now this man was taken aback. He said, "I did not do anything wrong. I spat at you 100 times. And the sage says, "No, because you spat at me 100 times. Today I offered Ganga Jal to Surya Dev 100 times. Thanks to you. I went in and did my prayers. I did my Gayatri Mantra 100 times. Thanks to you. You made my prayers 100 folds. I am very thankful to you, my son. Thank you. And the sage walked away as if nothing had happened. ऐसे होते हैं हमारे संत. See, these are sages. This is how the sages react to any adverse situation. But we, laymen, we react with anger. And we say, anger is the only right way to react. When something unjust is being done, you should fight. When something unjust is being done, so if somebody is hitting you with a stick, you also hit back with a stick. हमारा सनातन धर्म हमें ये नहीं सिखाता. Our Sanatan Dharma, our scriptures, our sages, they don't teach us an eye for an eye. They don't teach us to react in an angry manner, no matter what the situation. Our sages are always blissful and still and calm and loving. No matter what the situation, they are able to see the light in the dark. Be very wary when you are reading our scriptures. This is true forgiveness when the feeling of being wronged has not even come in. Think about it. There was a sage, again he was taking a bath at the Ganga Jal, Ganga Ma, and suddenly a scorpion came. Yeah, the scorpion was about to drown. So the sage picked him up and was about to put him on the shore. But the scorpion stung him. Again, he almost dropped the scorpion. So the sage again held the same scorpion and he was about to put the scorpion on the shore so that the scorpion does not drown. But what did the scorpion do? Again, he stung the sage. The sage, again, because of the pain, by mistake, he dropped him. But again, gently he picked the scorpion and tried to put him on the shore. But again, the scorpion stung him. And again, the sage, by mistake, dropped him. And again, he tried to pick him. And again, the scorpion stung the sage. And again, the sage tried to help him. And again, the scorpion stung the sage. Till it went on for so long, when finally the sage, when the scorpion was stinging the sage, consistently the sage did not give in to the pain, and he ultimately put him to the shore. And again, a young man was sitting and watching. He said, "What kind of a person are you? He was stinging you and you were just trying to help him? Why were you trying to help him?" And the sage smiled. He said he was not doing anything wrong. The nature of the scorpion is to sting. And my nature, as per my scriptures, is to love and save. When the scorpion did not give up his own nature, how could I give up my nature? Beautiful, isn't it? When the scorpion does not give up its nature of stinging, it is still a living thing. Let's go. When a bitter ground does not give up its nature of bitterness, taste of bitterness, when the sugar does not give up its taste of sweetness, how can we humans give up our natural state of being in this Satchit Anand Swaroop? That is my natural state. So the sage says, that is his natural state. He is doing what he knows to do. And I am doing what I know how to do. When the scorpion does not give up its nature, how can I give up my nature of love and kindness and bliss? Is there any question of forgiveness over here? No. It is. He is doing what he is supposed to do. He has been groomed to do that. I am doing what I am supposed to do. I am not pointing a finger on the scorpion that you scorpion, you're wrong because you're stinging. I am right. No. That is what the scorpion does. I am doing what I am doing. Prabhu Ichha, Prabhu Leela, jo ho raha hai, sahi ho raha hai. There is no question of forgiveness. There is no question of being wronged. That is true forgiveness. When Ramji was sent away by Kekai Ma, did he have any grudges against Ma Kekai? No. He said, Prabhu Ichha, Ma, I have no regrets, I have no anger towards you. It is good. It must be for my own good. Whatever is happening to me in my life, be it because of somebody else or because of any situation or because of anything that is coming my way, must be for my own good because I know my Lord is in control. Nothing can happen to me without His permission. And so if He has given permission for this so and so thing to happen to me, where is the question of anger? Where is the question of blaming? Where is the question of scrutinizing? Where is the question of judging? Where is the question of forgiveness? You forgive when you think you have been wronged. But when there is no wrong, there is no forgiveness. Over here, when Ramji is saying, the rope that is attaching me to my horses, the horses to my chariot, the ropes that govern the direction of my horses are Kshama. I never blame myself for what has happened and what has been done by me. Prabhu Ichha. So, 2 types of forgiveness. Forgiving the self and forgiving others. And others also 3. Where you let other people beg and plead and then you forgive grudgingly. Second, when you think you have been wronged and you forgive willingly, but you know that the other person was wrong and you are great, hence you are forgiving and forgetting. And the ultimate form of forgiveness, which is applicable to both forgiving the self and forgiving others, is not knowing that anything has been done in the wrong manner. All that is happening is my Hari's will. Then he says, Kripa. What is Kripa? The second rope is Kripa. Kripa is compassion. What is compassion? Most of the people will say, when you know something wrong is happening to other people, when I see a hungry person or when I see a person is suffering, I feel so sad, I start crying. I just feel so horrible about it. Is that compassion? That is not compassion. That is not Kripa. What is Kripa? Kripa is, or compassion is, empathy, where you empathize and you do something about it. Empathy plus action is equal to compassion. Just pure empathy, where feeling horrible about what is happening around you, but you do not get up and do something about it, is useless. You're wasting your time and emotions on something you're not making a change about. That is not compassionate. That is not being compassionate. That is not compassion. Compassion is empathy plus action. When you feel that somebody needs help, get up and go and help. See, we feel that the sages are inert. The sages don't feel. The sages don't care. Sab Prabhu Ichha, Prabhu Kripa. So even if somebody is getting hurt, it is Prabhu Kripa, na? No. His prarabdha is to suffer. But my prarabdha is to try and help him and uplift him. His prarabdha probably is, his karma is to go hungry. But my prarabdha is to go and provide food. His karma might be leading him to this kind of a life. But what is my karma? What is stopping me from going and helping and serving? Many a times we think that, as the scriptures say, everybody is getting what they deserve. So why do anything about it? That is a problem, If you read the scriptures, that is why they say, right, that आधा पागल पूरे पागल से ज़्यादा खतरनाक होता है. Because when somebody is totally mad, he's mad and he's dangerous. But when somebody is half mad, that person can get mad sometimes and the person is okay sometimes. You do not know how that person is going to react. आधा पागल पूरे पागल से ज़्यादा खतरनाक होता है. That the same way, half-baked knowledge is more dangerous than no knowledge. Trust me, ignorance is bliss. It is better to be ignorant than have half-baked knowledge. Because then you will say, because our scriptures say everybody is getting what they deserve, so let them get what they deserve. Our scriptures never said that. Everybody is getting what they deserve, but you go and do whatever you can to help them. This empty compassion, which is very good over a coffee, this is nowadays we talk about, so we need topics to talk about, right? So we choose the various different kind of topics we can talk about. So some people choose to talk about sensitive issues, to come across as more compassionate, more caring, more groomed. So they talk about what is happening in this world and how it is breaking their heart and what can be done. There are people who are going hungry. So it's a beautiful discussion that you have over a coffee. That's it. Is that compassion? No. A compassionate person is not going to talk so much about it, because a compassionate person does not have time. He sees that a lot has to be done in this world. He will just get up and get doing. He will spin into action immediately. There is no time to talk about the wrongs in this world. He is actually acting and working, immediately trying to do his best, to the best of his ability. Knowing that everything is happening as per the Lord's will. That is why we say, right, it is His kripa, it is His buddhi that He is giving me the ability to serve. If His kripa is not there, His grace is not there on you, you might be roaming around with $10,000 to give, but you won't find a single taker. Think, हुआ होगा आपके जिंदगी में बहुत बार. Problem is हम सोचते नहीं है ना. So he's saying compassion. Ramji would act. All through his life, he served. Even after Sita Haran, he was serving only. He did not let his sorrows or agony take over. He was compassionate. He set aside his agony, his sorrow, but he kept serving whatever he could do. He felt the need, he felt the sadness of others, and he worked towards uplifting them and making them feel better. That is true compassion. So he says, the other rope that ties my horses to my chariot is compassion, kripa. Kripa. Beautiful. And then samata. Equanimity, balance-mindedness. And Ramji is synonymous, is equivalent to equanimity. At night, they said you will be crowned. He said, ठीक है. There was no extra joy or anything. In the morning, they said 14 years you will be sent to the jungle. There was no agony or sorrow. He said, okay. Level-mindedness, equanimity, samta, lack of duality. See, duality is Maya. मैं अरु मोर तोड़ते Maya. Wherever there is me and mine, you and yours, good or bad, happy situation and sorrowful situations, the minute there are two, we are in Maya. The day we realize that there is nothing matters. Everything is a passing cloud. Today the situation is looking horrendous, right? It is looking so horrible. Tomorrow it'll pass. And when we look back, we'll say, take it, it was okay. Today we might be so very happy. It's a momentary happiness. Soon there must be another reason for us to become sad. Everything is transient. Every person is a passing cloud. Every situation is a passing cloud. Am I wrong? Today, that which is causing so much happiness might become the cause of sorrow tomorrow. Right? Today you are rich and wealthy, tomorrow you could become a pauper. Right? Today, the people who are applauding you might kick you and defame you. Huh? Think about it. Think about the twos of life. Joy, sorrow, fame, defame, mind, time. Is there anything that is permanent? Yes, there is. One changeless, permanent truth is that divine Brahman. He does not change. He is the ultimate truth. Everything else is a delusion. Sri Ramji was established in that truth. Brahm Satya, Jagan Mithya. When everything that is happening around me is not real, why should I let go of my equanimity, my samta? It is like, for Ramji, it was like sitting and watching a movie. So you watch a movie and you come out. Khatam baat. It was a show. Ho gaya. That is what life is. When you realize that everything is going to pass. Every situation, be it good or bad, is going to pass. Every individual is a passing cloud. Every relationship is going to change. Today, when the child is a baby, there is nobody but a mother that he looks up to. Nothing is more dear than the parents. As the child grows up, his friends come in. Yes, parents are important, but his friends are also very essential. Later, the child gets married. Look at the change in relationship and emotions. Siblings are so close to each other. As they grow up, they fall into separate situations, they have their own lives, and distance comes in. सीधी सी बात है. This is nothing to worry or brood about. This is life. This is the transient nature of life. When you accept the transient nature of life, when you accept everything is going to change, every relationship is going to change, every situation is going to change, no sorrow or no joy is permanent, you become calm. Because then they lose the power to agitate you. When you realize that which is changing is not even real, or that which is happening around me is exactly what has to happen. Full acceptance of the situation, full acceptance of the Lord's will, full acceptance and surrender will make you that bhav will come in you. And at that time, we will be able to remain calm and stable in all situations. There is no extreme fluctuation. There will be no extreme fluctuation in our moods due to external happenings. At that moment, everything external or every emotion internal to you will become helpless. And you will become calm and serene and sound. You become so powerful because the oscillation will stop. That kind of samta will come. When you start seeing the Lord in everything and everything in the Lord, again that kind of samta in your drishti will come. And for a person who is sam, who can defeat him? He is always victorious. He is always victorious. These points need to be thought about. Internalize them. Take a pen, paper, write them again and again and again. The chariot is ready. Ramji's chariot is ready. Is my chariot like Ramji's chariot? Are the wheels of my chariot Sauraj and Dheeraj? Are the horses, is the flag of my chariot Sheel and Satya? Are the horses of my chariot Bal, Vivek, Dam and Parhit? And are the reins of my chariot Shama, Kripa and Samta? Ask yourself. एकांत में बैठिए, अकेलेपन को छोड़ दीजिए. एकांत में बैठिए और मनन कीजिए. Ponder and think. Where do I stand? How does my chariot look? Sketch a chariot. Say, this is Ramji's chariot, and how does my chariot look? And what is the difference? What do I have to do to have the chariot just like Sri Ram? What is Ramayana? What is Bhagavad? What are these two scriptures trying to teach us? What are they trying to teach us? Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ramayan. Ramayana means our journey towards Ram. It is not Ramji's journey. It is my journey towards becoming Ram. Bhagavad also, all the 10 adhyaya at the end, it is surrender. How far have I reached in my journey towards becoming like Sri Ram? Am I on the path towards becoming like Lord Ram? Am I on the path to becoming like Lord Krishna? Am I on the path, or how close I am to realize the divinity in myself? That is Ramayana. The journey of Ramayana, the journey of Shrimad Bhagwat Mahapuran is for us to realize our divine nature. Is for us to discover the divinity in us. Is for us to become one with that Brahman. Nothing else. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. We'll sing the bhajan now. This bhajan is very beautiful. And it reminds us that एक दिन ash will become ash. एक दिन कुछ नहीं बचेगा. एक दिन nothing is going to matter. We're not going to take anything with us. What matters and what matters now and will always matter is how we lived our lives. That is all that matters. Isn't it? Every person we look up to, we don't look up, we don't see the situations they were in, we see how they lived up or reacted to those situations, and that is what makes them divine. हम किस तरह से इस दुनिया में घूमते हैं, इस दुनिया में हम कैसे डोलते हैं? Are we able to give the songs of our to the lips of somebody else? एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल। एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल। दूजे के होठों को देकर अपने गीत, कोई निशानी छोड़ फिर दुनिया में डोल। एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल। ला 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 ला। अनहोनी पग में कांटे लाख बिछाए, होनी तो फिर भी बिछड़ा यार मिलाए। अनहोनी पग में कांटे लाख बिछाए, होनी तो फिर भी बिछड़ा यार मिलाए। ये विरहा ये दूरी दो पल की मजबूरी, भोर होने वाली है क्यों बैठा है कोरी। तरम पम धारा जो बहती है मिलके रहती है, बहती धारा बन जा फिर दुनिया से बोल। एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल। ला 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 ला। अनहोनी पथ में कांटे लाख बिछाए, होनी तो फिर भी बिछड़ा यार मिलाए। ये विरहा ये दूरी दो पल की मजबूरी, फिर कोई दिल वाला काहे को घबराए। तरम पम धारा जो बहती है मिलके रहती है, बहती धारा बन जा फिर दुनिया से बोल। एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल। ला 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 ला। पर्दे के पीछे बैठी सावल गोरी, थाम के तेरे मेरे मन की डोरी। पर्दे के पीछे बैठी सावल गोरी, इस संसार रूपी पर्दे के पीछे प्रभु बैठे हैं, हम दोनों की डोरी उन्हीं के हाथ में है। पर्दे के पीछे बैठी सावल गोरी, थाम के तेरे मेरे मन की डोरी। पर्दे के पीछे बैठी सावल गोरी, थाम के तेरे मेरे मन की डोरी। ये डोरी ना छूटे ये बंधन ना टूटे, भोर होने वाली है क्यों रहना है थोड़ी। भोर होने वाली है अब रहना है थोड़ी। तरम पम सर को झुकाए तू बैठा क्यों है यार, गोरी से नैना जोड़ फिर दुनिया से बोल। एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे। ला 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 ला। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय। राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की, राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की। बोलो बजरंग बली की जय। जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम